Hey, welcome to my channel. My name is Sarah. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today I'm going to be doing a wear test and review on the AOA Studio Perfect BB Cream. If you haven't heard of the AOA brand, it is the basically house brand for SHOPMISSA. And I have tried two of their foundations and I like both. One I really love. It's their liquid drop foundation. It's light, it's really beautiful. So I was assuming if I love those two, surely they won't do me wrong here. So I decided to pick up the shade Light in their BB cream. I don't think this is a new product. It's been out for a little bit, but I just haven't tried it. The thing I love about AOA Studios is that it is cruelty-free and super cheap. This only costs $1. Some of their things on their website cost a little bit more, but they do that to donate to charity. But most of their stuff is only $1, which is incredible that they can do cruelty-free, good products at such a cheap price point. So on their website, it says this is a lightweight skin tone adapting formula created for the perfect no makeup look. They say it's long wearing, buildable, enhancing. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I'm ready to be enhanced. Cruelty-free, vegan, and non-toxic. It's also free of sulfates, mineral oil, and alcohol. It claims it has says it's light to medium coverage, but it is buildable and it is available in 6 skin adapting shades. So they obviously don't have a great shade range. That's kind of the case for all of their face products since it is so cheap and such a small brand. It's not unnormal for them to not come out with like 30 shades off the bat. I got shade Light and they had one shade lighter that was fair, but I wasn't sure that would be too light for me. I'm going to be applying it with a sponge on one side and a brush on the other. For the sponge, I'm going to be using the Juno & Co. microfiber sponge. I recently bought this because of Ivory Cherry here on YouTube. She has recommended it a million times and she says she gets more coverage with this sponge than she does with a brush or any other sponge. And I was highly doubtful, I'll be honest. I was like, I don't know, like sponges always sheer out foundation for me. So I have a tough time believing this one will do the same, but oh my gosh, I'm eating my words. This is actually like so good, like so good. And it was only $6. Why would you ever spend the money on a $20 beauty blender? Are they even $20 still? Are they more? I don't know. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving this sponge, so thank you, Ivory. Put some on the back of my, oh, that is way too dark. That's gonna be really dark on my skin, but I don't wanna lighten it for this video because then that could alter the finish. So I'm gonna take some, dab my sponge. Yeah, that's very too much dark for me. I'm gonna have to blend that, just like, oh my gosh, all the way down, it's so dark. So I definitely should have gotten fair, but I thought light would be light. I'm gonna take some more, dot it on this side of my face, and then apply it with a brush. Okay, so that is one layer. I'd say it's correct in being light to medium coverage. It's incredibly dewy. Like it looks like I'm wearing highlighter all along the side of my face. I like it, but if you have oily skin, this might be a little too much for you. I'm gonna need to blend this all the way down my neck because it looks so bad. I didn't think it looked that dark in the shade matching picture. So the coverage is about the same for the sponge versus the brush, but I do like the sponge side a little bit more. So I'm just going to blend everything out a little bit more. I'm getting really light coverage around my nose, like there's still redness coming through. Might actually try and build it up a tiny bit on my nose. Okay, so it is buildable, it seems. It feels a little sticky, but I think it is one that will eventually set where you wouldn't need a powder if you were going to use a powder. However, I will be wearing a mask today, and just to kind of tone everything down, I am going to powder my whole face just so I don't look so different. Since everything else is a little bit darker, I'm going to use a darker concealer. This is the Flower Light Illusion Full Coverage Concealer, and this is their lightest shade, but it's still a little bit too dark for me, normally. Okay, I didn't have any problems blending in that concealer with the foundation. To set everything down, I'm going to use the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Pressed Powder in Porcelain 110. I'm gonna use this for underneath my eyes as well as for my whole face. Okay, I feel like it lightened it a little bit. It looks like a tiny bit better. But if you are around my skin tone, definitely get the fair. The light is someone who I would consider tan. They'd probably be tan in a normal shade range with 30 shades. I'm gonna speed through me doing the rest of my makeup, but if you don't wanna watch it, just skip ahead like 30 seconds. With the rest of my makeup. I didn't have any issues applying things on top of it. It was fine. I'll be doing check-ins throughout the day, like after I wear a mask, and I'm thinking the 4-hour mark and the 8-hour mark. Unfortunately, just with the timing of being able to film, I'm only going to be able to keep it on for about 8 to 9 hours, not 10 or more. But hopefully we should still be able to get a good idea of how this BB cream is working. I keep calling it a foundation. Is a BB cream considered a foundation? Because on the bottle it says apply a small amount under foundation or wear alone. Why would you put it under your foundation? Why would you wear this? I don't understand. So it looks up close. It looks very skin-like from what I can tell on the camera. It is kind of like getting that mark by my nose. So it is already creasing up here, man. I can like buff that out. All right, and I will check back with you later. Okay, so the foundation has been on for about 4.5 hours, and I did just get back and I was wearing a mask for a while. And you definitely can tell that it's rubbed off on my nose. Like you can see right there where the mask sits, it's rubbed off like basically everything, honestly. I think you can tell on camera that like it's just foundation missing from that part. It looks like there's also a little bit missing from my chin where the mask sets. It still looks pretty dewy 4 hours in, which I don't mind, but if you're not into dewy type of foundations or you already have oily skin, you might not like it, but like especially like my forehead, you can see that it's still glowy up there. It is settling in the lines on my forehead, here. It's not terrible, so also around here, have more loss of foundation. So I don't know if this is one you'd want to wear with a mask. It's not very transfer proof. Otherwise, it's looking okay. I don't see it breaking up anywhere. Aside from the areas that it has transferred from, I think it looks very skin-like. It feels very lightweight. Like it doesn't feel like I'm wearing a heavy foundation, which is what you would want in a BB cream. So far, not so bad, especially when you factor into the price. I try to do that with all of the products that I am reviewing. Like if I spend $1 on this and it performs pretty good, I'm going to respect it a lot more than if I were to spend like $30 on a foundation and it operates just like pretty okay. So I will check in later and hope that this is doing still good. Okay, I know I have not looked my greatest today, but it is very humid and I was not about to do my hair or very much for my makeup. Today, I only put on 1 layer and I did have to wear a mask today, and I feel like it does look like it's rubbed off in this area, like definitely on my nose right here. You can really see on the tip of my nose where the mask sits, this side. Like you can kind of see where the makeup starts and it's just my skin. Since it's very, very dewy, I'm wondering if I just need to set this in the area that I wear a mask or other high touch areas. Without setting it with powder and only using 1 layer, it looked super, super dewy this morning. I wish I had gotten a picture before I had put on my highlight, but I forgot. It's definitely calmed down a lot since this morning, but when I did put it on, it was like, oh, you can see it up here. Like it was super, super glowy. It's been on for, I think about like 6.5 hours so far. And aside from the mask, it seems to be wearing okay. It is settling in a line there, but that's kind of like what all foundations do for me. I'm not getting settling right here because I do that a lot, and I did like touch my forehead and it came off super easily. So I think like regardless, this foundation needs to be set. It could also be that I was just outside and it's very humid, so I was kind of sweating, but this seems like something that if you plan to wear it out or just like in any situation other than dormitory, you should probably set it, which I feel like kind of defeats the purpose of a BB cream, because the way I envision BB cream is just like a quick on-the-go thing that you can technically apply with your hands. You're not trying to, no fuss. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Okay, so this is one layer. I'd say the coverage is pretty light, just one layer, because you can still see some freckles coming through and a little bit of redness. I let this set for a couple of minutes, and now I'm gonna put a second coat on and see how it looks, see if we can build up this coverage. Okay, this is a second layer. I think you can tell it looks more dewy now. I think it settles down a little bit after it's set. It looks like it added a little bit more coverage. I feel like I can still see some freckles coming through, but it's a BB cream, so I'm not upset if it's not like a higher coverage. I think it looks really, really beautiful on. Like it looks very skin-like in my opinion. If it was my actual correct shade, I think it'd look better. I tried to blend it down my neck a little bit. I am going to set it today and see how it sets because I will be wearing a mask. I'm getting my second vaccine shot today, so I don't want it to rub off like it did the other day. So I will come back and show you once I have all my makeup done and it's set. I was going to try and film how the BB cream looked on my skin in my car, so I had a lot of good natural light before I went in to get my vaccine. But as soon as I pulled out my phone, someone came right up to their car to put groceries in, and like my front was parallel with their bumper where their trunk was, so like they were looking right at me, so I couldn't do that. But then I put on a mask, and you can probably tell the obvious. The mask did wipe it off. I did set it with powder, like my whole face, so it is disappointing that it would wipe off super easily, even though it's set and it hasn't been on for that long. I think the nose is the main offender. Looks like it didn't rub off a ton near my mouth. Aside from that, it's looking pretty good. It's been on for about 4 hours at this time, so I guess we'll check in a little bit later and see how she's doing. I don't think I have to go anywhere else to put on a mask, so the rest of the day should hopefully be smooth sailing. I'm not feeling the best right now, so I'm going to make this short, but this has been on for about 11 hours. Honestly, it doesn't have the best staying power. It's definitely rubbed off a lot on my nose. Looks like it did my forehead and around my mouth. Honestly, I was expecting a lot more considering I have two of the AOA foundations that I really like, but I don't know, we'll see.